All right, this week in OT, we are going to celebrate National Donut Day. The first Friday in June is National Donut Day. So we are going to make a little craft and make our own paper donut today, okay? So we're going to need a few things for that. We need some crayons and some glue. Need a little bit of white plain paper, scissors, and a plain old paper plate, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, let's see, I'm going to figure out what kind of donut I'm going to make. I'm going to make a strawberry frosted donut with sprinkles, okay? So let's see, I'm going to make the donut part first. So I'm going to find a brown crayon. And the first thing I am going to do with that crayon is I'm going to color in the plate, okay? I'm going to color in pretty much the whole plate, okay? We are going to cut a hole out of the middle, so I might not color the very middle part, but we're going to color definitely around the whole edge of it, okay? And let's see, I'm going to use the back of the plate, so the part that's a little bit rounded, okay? I'm going to flip it over and use the back part. I think it'll just be a little easier. So I'm going to go ahead and color the back of the plate. I'm going to color in the entire thing, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way around. All right, and if you have these little pieces of crayon, it's kind of easy to turn them sideways and kind of just pinch them, and you can kind of color with the crayon sideways. It makes it a little easier, especially on paper plates that are kind of bumpy on the edges. It makes it nice and easy to color it, okay? You can certainly color it the regular way too. Okay, so donuts have holes in the middle, most of them, right? Some don't, but most do. So we need to make a hole in the middle of this donut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to the back, okay? So we're going to mark a circle and then cut it, okay? So I have something that's round. You can do this by hand and just draw a circle, that's okay. Or you can trace something that's round, like this little container. You could go right around the edge of it and trace it. So I'm going to do that. But if you want to, just draw the circle in the middle. So I'm going to use my little container here. I'm going to put it pretty much in the middle, hold it down. I'm going to go right around the edge of it with my crayon here and trace around the edge. We'll get kind of a circle in the middle there. Yep, there we go. Great. All right, so to cut that circle out, all right, little trick. What you can do, there we go, is you can kind of fold your plate in half lightly, okay? And you could just cut half of it like that, but I want to see if you can do it the tricky way, okay? See if you can cut around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just a little notch out of the middle here, just like that. Just cut like a little piece out that's inside the circle, okay? Because that way when I open it back up, I have room to fit my scissors in here to cut, okay? So I'm going to fit my scissors right in there. I'm going to cut all the way out to this edge line right there. I'm going to stop at the line. Then I'm going to turn my scissors and be careful with my hands. And I'm going to start cutting around that circle, okay? Perfect. Okay. Now my donut has a hole in the middle. All right, so like I said, I wanted to make a strawberry frosted donut. So we're going to use the paper. Okay, we're going to make the frosting part. So I'm going to take my donut, I'm going to lay it on top of the paper, pretty much in the middle of it, okay? Now I'm going to take a crayon. Now it's going to be strawberry frosted, so I'm going to use pink. All right, and I'm going to trace the circle that I just made, okay? So I'm holding down my donut. I'm going to go on my paper here. I'm going to trace all the way around that circle that I just cut. I'm going to go around a couple times because this is a very light color. Push down nice and hard. Now I should have a pink circle, and yes I do. Okay. Now, a little ways around this circle, I'm going to make a wavy line all the way around it, and that's going to be my frosting, okay? So I'm going to get my donut out of the way. I'm going to kind of just go around my circle, kind of a wavy line. Not too big. There we go, right back to where I started, right there. Almost looks like a pink egg, right? Right now, I'm going to color this in. This is my frosting, right? I'm not going to color in the middle. Actually, if you did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because we're going to cut that out too. But I'm going to color in my frosting here. Careful to stay inside my lines that I just made. I'm going to color it all the way in. And there we have it. All right. Now I have to do a little more cutting. I'm going to cut the circle in the middle just like I did with the plate. Okay, I'm going to fold it just a little bit. You can see that. I'm going to cut a little notch out of the middle, a little piece out of the middle. Open it up. Fit my scissors right in there. Cut out to where I started coloring pink. And then turn the scissors and try to cut around that circle. It's kind of tricky. Need a little help with that? Make sure you grab a grown-up and have them help. And it's a little tricky to cut in the middle of a paper without cutting to the edge. There. I've got my circle. Now I'm going to cut all the way around the edge of this frosting that I just made. This time I have to go from the edge of the paper. I made little curvy lines. So I'm going to try to follow the curves that I made all the way around. Great. Okay. Now I'm going to need some glue. I'm going to put some glue on the back of my frosting. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to glue it on the front of the donut. And I'm going to try to match up these circles so that they match up nice and close, okay? So let's get some glue. Twist that up a little. Let's get some glue on the back side of this frosting. And let's flip that over, glue it onto the front of this donut. Try to match up the circles so that they match. Mash it down and push it on there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So there's two ways you can add the sprinkles to this. You can use different colored crayons. So like I could take a couple different colors and I could just make little lines for sprinkles, right? All little lines, different directions. You can also add some sprinkles with paper. So I can take these little scraps of paper from the plate and from the edges here. I'm gonna get that out of my way for a second. And I could use that to make some sprinkles. So I could just like take a section of this paper here and color it in. Like I could color some green. If you have colored construction paper, you could do the same thing and just use colored paper. Right, and then I could take my scissors and cut around these parts that I colored. And I could cut it into little pieces, right? I could just snip it all up like this. And those kind of look like colored sprinkles too. So I'm going to add some of those. Just like that. All right, get these scraps out of the way. And you see I could just take some glue and I could just glue those on there. See? This glue dries pretty fast, so if you just cover a little area in glue, you can kind of get a whole bunch of them in there. And they're sticking to my fingers too. Ah, bingo. Check it out. So I'm gonna add some extra sprinkles on there, or some candy or whatever you like to have on your donuts. Make whatever kind of donut you want, whatever kind you like the best. And check that out. Just a little bit of paper and a paper plate, some crayons and some glue and some scissors. We could celebrate National Donut Day. So make one, make a whole dozen if you want, and enjoy.